or Todd, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong outline. I'm looking at tomorrow's outline when we don't have a show. So, Todd, would you like to bring on our fabulous guest?
For once, Lee is drunker than I am. At this time, we would like to welcome Thomas Murphy, former Cuban middleweight boxer, record of 57-2, possible Donald Trump VP candidate. Actually, he does write for Sports Infusion. He's an editor at ProFootballCentral.com. Former co-host of the Nicky X Happy Hour, which is no longer in existence, which is why he's the former co-host, because no one's a co-host of it anymore. And the big, angry green man, Murph. How are you? Thanks for being on.
How are we, guys? I'm great. Just called in a little early to listen to the show because, it works better that way with Blog Talk Radio.
well, we honestly, we kind of figured people could listen to us for 10 minutes or they could actually listen to somebody who is of quality. So we thought, let's just go ahead and bring Murph on.
Oh, okay. So you want to put me back on mute. You got another guest. Great.
Oh, no. But I will say Ted is on two lines, so it's and we pointed this out before, but it's almost like the foghorn leghorn thing where the little chicken says, "Oh no, you're over there," and the foghorn leghorn is afraid to check underneath the house because he might actually be in there. I don't know how Ted is on two lines, but he is.
Ted's always like that.
I say.
Exactly. So before we get to
run along, boy, you bother me.
Before we get to baseball.
Man.
Football
good
question.
to be here, man. Good to get the band back together, as I said last night.
Yes,
it is.
Fantastic.
So let's talk football briefly, and then we'll move on to the real sport. What did you think about the Patriots draft?
I was less than enthusiastic over it. Bill's going to do what Bill's going to do. He's going to target guys that he wants and take them when he wants them. Obviously, he didn't see a tackle at any point in time in the draft where it would make sense to take one, hence taking another guard. We now have more guards than Alcatraz ever did at its peak on the roster. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to draft guards and safeties and just play that way. No running backs, no tackles. We'll take obscure wide receivers in later rounds, and then I wasn't thrilled. I really wasn't thrilled with it. But yet again, even after that, and with the terrible, awful injustice that Tom Brady continues to go through, the Patriots are the favorites to win the Super Bowl.
That's true.
I've seen several reports saying that two of the worst 5 teams as far as upgrading their offseason were the Bills and the Jets. And and my lovely Dolphins, of course, are perennial winners of the 8-8 season if they're lucky. So, no surprise there.
There were teams that I thought did much better. I thought the Dolphins did an amazing job. I really liked the work that they did. The Bills, I also enjoyed what they did. They addressed a lot of needs. It was a very unsexy draft. It really was. The way things broke down, Miami just couldn't pass on Tunsil. They just couldn't do it, and I don't blame them.
No, either.
And I liked Byron Maxwell, and the Kiko Alonso trade that they made prior to the draft was really good. I don't think a lot of people are giving that enough publicity. They basically stole those guys, and they picked up a running back that a lot of people don't know about, somebody that I had my eye on, in Kenyon Drake. I think this kid is fantastic. I really do. I love this kid's workouts. I loved his tape a lot. That was a real steal at I forget where it was. In the 70s, I think they grabbed him. I forget what, but I had him going much earlier than that. The Pats, I got to give them a C+ draft. I'll be wrong in the long run. Shaq Lawson was somebody that I wanted them to pick, but I wanted them to pick him in the third round. Jones was a good pick. Jonathan Williams was a decent pick. But I mean, really, it's oh my. Wait, I still got the Bills in my head. What the hell am I doing? Cyrus Jones. Cyrus Jones was a great pick. Joe Thuney, I was scratching my head over. Brissett, just shoot me. Just please shoot me. Yeah, I don't get it. I can understand taking another quarterback. Bill always takes a quarterback just to see what happens. But I don't know why they did that there. I searched through the dark internet because I couldn't find any film of him on the regular internet. So I had to go really freaking deep into the dark internet, through places I don't want to talk about to just find tape of Jacoby Brissett actually completing passes, and it was scary. It was definitely scary. But that was good. The Jets did well. Hackenberg, I think, is going to be a good quarterback at some point in time. It's not going to be this year because his growth was stunted down at Penn State. Really, if you go back and you look at this kid in high school and his freshman year in college, it looked like something really special was going to happen. But then he just got thrown into that blender that is Penn State, and he regretted ever going there from that point on. And you could see it in his play and in his body mechanics through, just as a person, not even as a quarterback. So yeah, I thought that was terrible. They better get Ryan Fitzpatrick signed to whatever the hell he wants. If there hasn't been a luckier person on the planet than Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't know who it is.
Yeah. No kidding.
So that was good. They had a decent draft. And that basically takes care of the AFC East, unless you guys want to swing around through the rest of the NFL.
No, we want to talk about a real sport. So
thank you.
The NFL.
Thank you so much.
So what's been the biggest surprise?
Oh, you don't know, guys.
Baseball?
I don't get to talk baseball with people much anymore.
That's right. What's been the biggest surprise of the season so far for you, overall?
The complete and utter dominance of the Houston Astros. I don't know how this team has fallen apart the way they have. That was sarcasm, folks out there. I picked them to make the playoffs last year. I thought they were on the upswing. They made a couple of deals that might have, set them back a bit, but I didn't think it would be this. I really didn't think it would be this. That's my biggest surprise. I'm not going to, say that I'm surprised by the Cubs. We knew what they were going to do. I didn't think they'd jump out quite this quick. And yeah, I've got to say, the Red Sox being, 8 games over 500 right now is a pleasant surprise.
It is indeed a surprise.
Murph.
Yes, sir.
It's so good to talk to you again.
You too,
Ted.
I hate when Ted skulks in the background like that, man. It's scary. It's like the shadow. The shadow knows. What's up, bud?
I usually tweet you of pictures of every time I see your name, Murph, somewhere, just to let you know the love is still there.
The love is there, and I appreciate that.
So I'm going to talk about, I know you were talking about football and the Patriots and everything like that. I guess we got to talk Sox. And before the season, Lee picked Mookie Betts to be the AL MVP.
Yep.
But Jackie Bradley Jr. has a 25-game hitting streak. Boston,
Yes, he does.
Is doing well. Who's been their best player?
Without a doubt, Jackie's been their best positional player, but you've got to tip your hat to David Ortiz, who, as I tweeted out this morning, has found a pool full of cocoons and swims in it daily. I think he keeps it in the locker room somewhere, and he takes a dip in it every afternoon, comes out and smacks another home run. It's beautiful to watch David go out this way. I don't want to say it's shocking, but the question now is if he can do it for the entire season. And I'm sorry, I knew JBJ was going to do this. I've been saying it for 3 years. It's amazing what a kid can do when he actually gets regular playing time and he's not buried 7th in the batting order with no protection behind him. He's got some protection with Mookie when he's in the 9 slot and Mookie's batting leadoff, so that helps a lot. But his glove has never been a question. I've said for 2 years now that it's the best glove I have ever seen, ever. It's a place where triples go to die. The bat, it's a little surprising. I was thinking 260, 280, 10 home runs, but he's about to eclipse that right now. And this hitting streak is just unreal. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that Jackie is able to actually showcase the talent that everybody said that he had, the things that he showed when he was in college and in the lower levels of the minors. And nobody, I'm sorry, I hate to toot my own horn, but I was the only one. Sans me said that he could do this and himself, and he's gone out and proved everybody but me wrong. Now we can get on to all the things I was wrong about.
So we have to talk about the Mercurial David J. Price. He's 6-1, but has a 5.53 ERA.
Mm-hmm.
How can it be?
Part of it, I think, was trying to live up to the contract and this market. A lot of people said that it wasn't going to be any different for David at all. He's pitched in big markets before. He's pitched in big situations before. He's signed big deals, nothing like this before. But and that kind of money wouldn't affect him. It affects everybody. This market affects everybody. When you're used to playing in front of 12,000, 14,000 on day 3 of the season, and now you're sitting there and there's 47,000 every night, whether you're on the road or at home. It's different, and you feel like you have to live up to a standard. You have to be the ace, and that takes something out. And it's also, there was some mechanics. Dustin Pedroia noticed something in his mechanics that had changed over the past year or two. And he worked on it, and his velocity is back up a little bit. We're hitting 95, 96 again on the gun, and he's getting people out. The hard thing is, this is a man who had that ERA and yet was still striking people out at a record pace, leading the AL for a while there. And that goes to my original point where he felt that, I'm the ace, I've got to strike everybody. Stop striking people out. Strikeouts are fascist. Throw some ground balls. He's throwing more ground balls and, getting more double plays, and things have worked out the past couple of starts for him. They've been a lot better.
And as a Dodger fan, I have to disagree, because when Clayton Kershaw pitches, that's the only time the Dodgers win, and he has to strike out everybody for them to win. So I'm joking, obviously. But
yes.
Is there any chance this team, the Red Sox being, isn't successful for the foreseeable future due to the farm system and the young talent currently on the team?
Yeah, there is. If you folks haven't noticed, the Red Sox have played a lot of home games. The second half of the season, they are going to be on the road for, I'm going to say 70% of the time. And yeah, that's going to catch up to young kids who haven't been through this before. When you're living out of a suitcase and packing up every 3 days to go to another city, yeah, that's going to happen. It's also going to have an effect on Poppy, because he's not going to have that hot tub full of cocoons to dip into every other day. He's going to need his rest. I'm expecting them to come back to earth a little bit. Jackie Bradley Jr., as much as I pump his tires, is not going to do this all year long. I expect Mookie to hit a little better. And when things get tough, I want to see how Hanley reacts. Right now, he's living the good life. He's happy. We're winning, and he's playing first base, so he's a bigger part of the defense at all times and bigger part of the team at all times, and he's hitting well. So there could be there could be stretches where you're going to go 4-6 and 5-5, and I want to see how these young kids react to that. But that was a good question.
Any chance that Jackie Bradley Jr. really hates Joe DiMaggio and he's just trying to mirror Joe DiMaggio's hit streak at this point? Maybe just say, I really hate Joe DiMaggio. I'm going to do better than him.
Why not? I hate Joe DiMaggio. Joe DiMaggio, I can't stand Joe DiMaggio. I think he was a prick. and I hope he does, but it's not going to happen. Two different centuries. That's the way, the way things are now. Joe DiMaggio saw the same pitcher for 3 at-bats in every single game, or 4 at-bats in every single game. You didn't see left-handed specialists coming in. You didn't see right-handed specialists coming in. You didn't see closers coming in throwing 90 miles an hour. It's a record that will never be broken, and just another reason for me to hate Joe DiMaggio. The only reason that I even speak his name is because his brother Dom is one of the greatest human beings that ever walked the face of the earth.
That's awesome. Arthur Miller also hated Joe DiMaggio. So moving away from the Red Sox just a bit, what do you think about MLB's plans to change the intentional walk and the strike zone? You think there's any merit to that whatsoever, and do you think it'll change the game at all?
Yeah, I do. I think it'll change the game. I don't like it. I don't want to get on my traditionalist horse, but I mean, every once in a while, when you're intentionally walking someone, a ball gets away, and if there's somebody on base, that player moves up. I don't like this. I don't like it at all. The beautiful thing about baseball is how linear it is. I don't like these time clocks. I don't like the changes to the rules. I can't stand replay. If you want the game to move along quicker, the only thing that should be replayed are home runs and a fair or foul ball. Part of the beauty of baseball is the fact that it's human. It is the most human of all sports, and when you make these kind of changes, then it ceases to be human, and we can just go back all the way to the institution of interleague play and get rid of that, and every rule change that they've made from that point to this point, we can just stop right now. Wow, I need a drink. Really need a drink. But yeah, I don't like the idea of changing these things. I like the way it is. If baseball is too long or boring for you, then play with your phone. Just go play with your phone.
It's funny you brought up long, because it is a long season. But it's like, if you're really a fan of a team, like I know you are, the Red Sox, and Ted is of the Mets, and Todd of the Tigers. Well, it's more like a matter of every day you're checking that score, and it's 162 games. But part of you kind of still, you die a little bit when your team wins or loses, and then if your team wins, it's like, oh, it's a good day. But there's 162 of them, so that's another thing that makes baseball so great, right?
That's it. There's always tomorrow. One game does not change a season, and what we're going to do is, we're going to regroup, and hopefully Clay Buchholz isn't pitching tomorrow, and life is rosy. Get a whole lot of rosy out there.
What is it with Buchholz, though? Because the guy, raw talent, he's got a bunch of it. But is it all in his head, or is it just in mechanics?
It is. He's a mental case. He's the biggest mental case I've seen since Oil Can Boyd, minus the cocaine. And great clothes. Take that, Huggy Bear. Anybody who remembers Dennis Oil Can Boyd knows that he was the fashion plate of Boston for his brief stint here. It is. As soon as somebody gets on, something, goes haywire in his brain work. He wakes up in the morning. If he's facing the wrong way, you could be in for big trouble. It's awful. It really is, because you're right. The talent is so overwhelming, because you see it in these far too brief and far too in between stints of how good he can be on a pitching mound, and it just goes haywire as soon as the slightest thing goes wrong. And like I said, it could be waking up in the wrong position. It doesn't even have to be men on base. It could be, his shoes were not, put in the locker room by a locker room attendant at a specific time, and that just screws up his entire day. And there you go again. The thing that gets me about it is every time he does go out and throw poorly, it was just one pitch. I only threw one bad pitch. Yeah, well, your one bad pitch, there were 3 guys on already. How did they get there? Please tell me, because 2 of them had walked. And, find a strike zone, pound it, and trust yourself. This guy throws 5 pitches. Pick 3 pitches and use them, please. Find out what's working in the bullpen, take it to the mound, and use them. Stop trying to overthink this game. Thinking only hurts the ball club.
Well, isn't there anything the pitching coach or manager can do to get this guy to just limit his pitches?
Oh, you mean our great manager, the guru pitching coach? Honestly, I can't. I don't understand why he can't. I know I could. I'd sit there and I'd call pitches from the dugout for him. This is what you're going to throw. And if you don't, well, then guess what? You're not going to make your next start. I'll sit you down. Use your fastball, use your cutter, and use your changeup, and that's it. I do it with Little League kids, for Christ's sakes. Butchie throws 4 pitches. No, this is what you're going to throw today because this is what was working in the in warm-ups. I don't know why Clay Buchholz is something special, and Big John Farrell, the pitching guru that he is, can't get that through his head.
Yeah, that's a shame. So, Murph, it's always great to have you on, whether it's talking football, talking baseball. You're really knowledgeable, very funny. We always enjoy having you on. We enjoyed you being a co-host with us when the now defunct Nikki X Happy Hour was on. So, will you let people know, other than, of course, Donald Trump, maybe possible VP candidate? I mean, it makes sense, right?
Not happening. Not gonna do it. No, not gonna do it.
And let people know where you can be found.
Sure, you guys can, folks, you can follow me at TMurph207. Please give me grief for everything that I said today on this show right there. You can check me out at thesportsinfusion.net. I am a columnist there, and of course, at profootballcentral.com. You can check out all my football writings there. Guys, I appreciate the time. It's always fun. Give me a ring any day, and I'll be here for you. Ted, it was great. Stop skulking in the background. Come up here in the front, bud. You look good. You look good.
All right, Murph.
All right, fellas.
Enjoy your Saturday.
Thanks again, Murph.
Anytime.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Murph brought up DiMaggio, and I was reading Jim Kirchin's book, one of his baseball books, and he mentioned a weird stat about DiMaggio that Eric Carlos had like twice as many stolen bases in his career as DiMaggio, which is like insane. However, there are some much more interesting people. Did you know that Dave Kingman had almost 3 times as many stolen bases as DiMaggio? DiMaggio had 30 stolen bases in his career.
Ooh.